Every single day, you wake up with two choices: stay weak and repeat the life you've settled for, or educate yourself and build the life that was always yours to dominate. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You don't need another motivational video telling you you're enough. You're not. Not yet. Because real power comes when you commit to mastery. Not once, not twice, every single day. This world doesn't reward comfort, it rewards growth. And the only way to grow is to feed your mind like you feed your body. Relentlessly, consistently, without negotiation. You think success is about luck? No, it's about obsession. It's about waking up and asking, what don't I know yet? And then hunting that answer down like your life depends on it. Because it does. Every book you don't read, every skill you avoid, every truth you ignore, that's a chain around your neck. You want freedom? You want wealth? You want to win? Then stop scrolling and start learning. Because the man who learns daily becomes the man no one can stop. While everyone else is sleeping, crying, making excuses, you're studying, evolving, sharpening your weapons. That's how you rise. That's how you unlock your true potential. And if that sounds hard, good. It's supposed to be, because that's the price of greatness. Discipline is the separator. It's the wall between the ones who talk about it and the ones who live it. Everyone wants to win. Everyone wants the cars, the lifestyle, the power. But when it's time to sit down, shut up and do the work, that's where they tap out. They chase distractions like addicts. One scroll here, one video there, and they're back in the loop. Weak, forgettable, lost in the noise. You want to be different? Then act different. You have to make discipline your religion. You have to make discomfort your home. You have to make education a daily war plan, not a weekend hobby. People underestimate what happens when you lock in and say, I will learn something useful today, no matter what. Not just school facts, not useless trivia, but weapons, mental weapons. You learn how money works. You learn how manipulation works. You learn how your body reacts under pressure. You learn what to say, how to say it, and when to shut your mouth. You become sharp, dangerous, unstoppable, but it only comes from daily discipline. That's the tax you pay to stop being average. The problem is, most of you are weak. You say, I don't have time. What are you talking about? You've got 24 hours. You don't need more time. You need fewer excuses. You say you're tired after work. Good. Be tired and still read. Be tired and still listen. Be tired and still grow. Because if you don't, someone else is. Someone you'll be working for in 5 years. Someone who didn't skip the discipline. Someone who kept going when you stopped. That's the game. And the game doesn't care about your feelings. It only respects results. You know what discipline really is. It's doing what needs to be done long after the excitement is gone. The motivation fades, the hype disappears, and now it's just you versus you. Are you going to open that book? Are you going to rewatch that speech? Are you going to master that business model? Or are you going to say, I'll do it tomorrow? You think the top 1% live by tomorrow? No, they live by now. They live by non-negotiables. They set rules for their mind like it's a battlefield, because it is. And if you don't control it, it will control you. And here's the thing. Discipline doesn't just make you smarter, it makes you dangerous. Why? Because when you train your mind every single day, you stop being controlled by the world. You start controlling the world around you. You walk into rooms differently. You speak with certainty. You operate from a position of strength. People listen. People follow. People notice. Because knowledge isn't just power. It's presence. It's pressure. It's energy. It's the quiet force that dominates the loud noise. Everyone's walking around hoping for shortcuts, looking for hacks, praying that some easy route will take them to the top. But the top isn't crowded for a reason. It's earned through brutal repetition. You want the edge? Build it. Build it with books. Build it with reps. Build it by waking up earlier, locking in, cutting the nonsense, and absorbing something that makes you better. You don't need to learn for hours, but you do need to learn every single day. That's the code. That's the real cheat code. And don't confuse activity with progress. You scrolling through motivational videos, you binge watching success stories, that's entertainment. That's sugar for your brain. You feel inspired, but you're still broke. You feel pumped, but you're still clueless. You want to grow, then stop consuming and start studying. Take notes, reread, apply. You learn something, you test it in the real world, fail fast, adjust, improve. That's how you build mental dominance. Not by watching, by doing. People who lack discipline always look at those who have it and say, they're lucky. No, they're trained. They trained their mind when nobody was watching. They read the boring stuff. They practiced when it wasn't cool. They invested time in what mattered. And now they walk different. They live different because discipline gave them what laziness never could. Options. That's the reward. Freedom, power, choice. And if you don't have those things, maybe it's because you haven't earned them yet. So the next time you think about skipping your mental reps, remember, somewhere out there, a man just like you decided not to skip. And he's learning faster, moving quicker, outpacing you while you're debating whether to commit. You better decide right now, because discipline isn't some luxury for the elite. It's the entry fee. You either pay it daily or you stay at the bottom forever. Weakness is a disease, and most people are infected. They don't even see it. They walk through life blind to the chains they've chosen. Chains made of comfort, distraction, softness. They've convinced themselves that average is okay, that good enough is enough. It's not. Good enough is the enemy. Average is where men rot. It's where your dreams go to die, and it starts with weakness in the mind. Weak men want easy. They want safety. They want approval from a world that doesn't even care if they succeed. And that's exactly why they lose. They can't take heat. They can't take pressure. The moment life punches them in the face, they fold. You talk to them about sacrifice, they look at you like you're speaking another language. They want results without the war. They want freedom without the fight. But that's not how this world works. You either conquer your weakness or it conquers you. Every man is at war, not with other people, but with himself, with the voice in his head telling him to chill, to relax, to take a break. That voice is weakness. And it's lying to you. It wants you to stay broke. It wants you to stay dumb. It wants you to watch another video, eat another snack, hit snooze one more time, because every time you do, you lose a piece of yourself. That voice is your enemy, and you better learn to kill it. You think greatness happens by accident? You think the strong were just born that way? No, they were forged. Forged in pain, forged in discipline, forged in the decision to go through hell and keep walking. They looked weakness in the face and said, "You don't own me." That's how winners are built. That's how warriors are made, through choosing hard over easy, through making pressure your fuel. But let me tell you what most people do. They run, they escape, they numb themselves with comfort, they scroll, they party, they complain, they blame the world, their parents, the economy, anything but themselves. Because blaming yourself means you have to fix it. And fixing it means doing hard things. And weak people don't do hard things. That's why they stay average forever. They say things like, not everyone can be rich. That's what losers say. Not everyone can be strong. That's what the untrained say. Not everyone can win. That's what quitters say. They've already accepted defeat. They've signed a contract with mediocrity, and now they want you to do the same. They want company in their failure. Don't give it to them. Don't be one of them. Be the exception. You have to become allergic to weakness. When your alarm goes off and you feel tired, get up anyway. When you don't feel like learning, do it anyway. When the weights feel heavy, lift them anyway. That's how you kill weakness, by making it irrelevant. You act despite it. You take control of your actions and let your feelings burn. Because the moment you let weakness drive, you crash. And here's the truth. Life isn't fair. Nobody's coming to save you. No one cares about your tears, your fears, or your failures. The world respects one thing: results. You either produce or you don't. And the only way to produce is to go to war with that weak version of yourself every single day. You destroy him. You bury him under effort. You silence him with action. That's how you rise. Most people won't do this. That's the good news. Because when you do, you're instantly in the top 1%. Not because you're special, but because you chose strength. Because you said no to weakness and yes to pressure, growth, discomfort, and dominance. You built a mind that doesn't bend. That's rare. That's powerful. And that's how you win in a world designed to keep you soft. They'll say you changed. They'll say you're cold. Good. Be cold. Be unshakable. Be so focused on your mission that nothing shakes you. Not their judgment, not your fear, not your emotions. That's how you stay unbreakable in a world that breaks everyone else. You're not here to blend in. You're here to stand out. You're here to build, not beg, to dominate, not doubt. So the next time you feel that weakness creeping in, when your mind says, skip the work, take it easy, you've done enough, remember, that's not you talking. That's the enemy. That's the version of you that wants to stay average. And you're not average. You were born to conquer, but only if you're willing to kill the coward within. They don't teach you this in school, but I will. Knowledge is currency, real money, real leverage, not theory, not memorization, but practical, ruthless understanding of how this world works. You don't get rich by accident. You get rich by stacking value. And value comes from what you know, not what you feel. Not what you hope, but what you know. If your brain's empty, your bank account will be too. That's the truth. Most people are broke because they're mentally poor. No skills, no insight, no awareness, no edge. They walk through life like sheep, repeating what they've been told, following the script, wondering why they're stuck. It's because they've never studied the game. They never picked up the books that matter. Never sat in silence and asked, how does power move? How does wealth multiply? How do the elite stay ahead? They'd rather be entertained than educated. And that choice costs them everything. You have to think like an assassin. Precision, strategy, information is your weapon, and you need to sharpen it daily. You study business not for fun, but to dominate it. You study psychology not for curiosity, but to use it. You study history to predict the future. Every piece of knowledge you absorb is a tool, and every tool you master makes you richer, not just financially, but mentally, socially, emotionally. Knowledge buys you freedom. Ignorance keeps you in chains. Let me be clear. They don't want you smart. They don't want you informed. They want you addicted, distracted, dull, because a man who understands the system can't be controlled by it. So they feed you lies, watered down advice, surface level nonsense. And if you don't fight for real knowledge, you'll drown in stupidity. That's the plan. That's the trap. You want to escape? Then start learning. Learn like your survival depends on it, because it does. Everything in this world comes down to information flow. The faster you learn, the faster you earn. That's the equation. Money isn't just printed, it's attracted. And it's attracted to those who understand how to move. You don't chase money, you position yourself to command it. But you can't do that if you don't understand leverage. Persuasion, timing, negotiation, tech, branding, networks. All of that is knowledge. And if you don't have it, someone else does. And guess what? They'll own you. You have to rewire your brain to crave education like oxygen. Not the system's education, the real kind. The kind that opens doors. The kind that builds empires. The kind that turns broke nobodies into global names. That kind of knowledge is out there. But it's hidden in the places most people never look. It's in the biographies of killers, the essays of philosophers, the breakdowns of millionaires. It's in rooms where people talk about money, not feelings. It's in failure and correction. That's where the gold is buried. But most of you won't dig. You'll say you're too tired, too busy, too overwhelmed. You'll say, I'm not smart enough. That's a lie. You've just been lazy. And laziness is expensive. You want results? Then pay the price. Pay with your time. Pay with your focus. Pay with your ego. Because once you invest in learning, everything changes. Your decisions get sharper. Your instincts grow. You start seeing angles no one else sees. You start predicting outcomes, reading people, moving pieces while everyone else is stuck playing checkers. And here's what happens when your knowledge stacks up. You stop begging. You stop hoping. You start executing. You don't wait for opportunity. You create it. You build things. You sell things. You influence people. Because now you know how. You know what others don't. And that gap, that's your leverage. That's where the money lives. That's where power is born. Look around. The ones with the most money, the most control, the most dominance, they're not always the loudest, but they're the smartest. They know something you don't, and until you close that gap, you'll stay in the stands watching them win. So stop watching, stop waiting, start studying every single day, even if it's boring. Especially if it's boring, because the boring stuff is where real power is buried. You have to treat knowledge like a currency exchange. You trade time for understanding, and understanding for wealth. That's the game. The more you know, the less you fear. The more you apply, the more you earn. It's not magic, it's math. Learn fast, apply faster, profit forever. Insight is useless if you don't act on it. You can read all the books, watch every video, sit through every seminar. But if you're not moving, if you're not executing, then it's just mental masturbation. You feel smart, but you're still stuck. You talk like a winner, but your life screams loser. You don't win because you know, you win because you do. And that's where most people lose the plot. They confuse awareness with achievement. They think understanding a strategy is the same as building an empire. It's not. Action is the separator. You see, this world doesn't care how many ideas you've got. It doesn't care how much potential you have. It only cares what you produce, what you build, what you move. Knowledge without execution is just potential energy. It means nothing until you put pressure on it, until you apply it in real time with real consequences. That's where the growth happens. That's where the dominance begins. People love to say, I know that already. Really? Then why aren't you rich? Why aren't you powerful? Why aren't you living the life you claim you want? You don't know it. You just heard it. You didn't internalize it. You didn't live it. If you truly knew it, it would show in your results. You want to sharpen the mind? Then apply what you learn. Take that insight, strip it down, make it simple, and move. The mind is a weapon, but only if it's trained under fire. You don't get sharper by sitting in comfort. You get sharper by pushing limits, by taking what you've learned and throwing it into the arena. You try, you fail, you adapt, you try again. That's how the mind evolves. That's how a man separates himself from the crowd. You get stronger, not by consuming more, but by doing more with less. Some of you are addicted to learning because it feels safe, it feels productive, but it's not real progress if you're not putting that knowledge into motion. Action is where the danger is, and danger is where the edge is. That's why the winners move fast. They hear something once, and they act on it. While everyone else is overthinking, hesitating, doubting, they're making money, building muscle, gaining ground. Let me tell you something. If your actions aren't matching your ambitions, then you're lying to yourself. You say you want to win, but your habits say you want to stay the same. You say you want to grow, but you avoid discomfort like it's a disease. You say you're hungry, but you haven't moved an inch. Real hunger doesn't need motivation. It moves on instinct. It takes what it learns and attacks. So what are you doing with the insight you have? Are you building something with it? Are you flipping it into cash, into skills, into strength? Or are you just letting it rot in your head, collecting dust while you wait for the perfect time? There is no perfect time. There is only now. The clock is ticking, and the world is moving with or without you. Execution is a mindset. It's a commitment to act even when you're unsure, even when you're scared, even when things aren't perfect. You pull the trigger and adjust on the fly. That's how the best do it. That's how the top 1% live. They don't need 10 confirmations. They don't need permission. They learn, they move, they correct. While you're hesitating, they're winning. The difference between those who conquer and those who collapse is simple. The conqueror executes. He doesn't waste insight. He doesn't let good ideas go cold. He takes what he knows and turns it into dominance. If he hears a concept that could make him better, he applies it the same day. Because he knows ideas die fast. You don't act on it soon, it fades. That's why most people forget what they learned within a week. It never touched their life. It never changed their behavior. It never got converted. Sharpening your mind isn't about knowing more. It's about doing more with what you already know. It's about repeating until it's natural. It's about turning strategy into instinct. You master one move at a time, and you execute it so well that it becomes part of who you are. That's how you build a mind that conquers, a mind that doesn't freeze, doesn't panic, doesn't fold, acts. You want to win, then make execution your obsession, not just learning, not just preparing, doing even when you're tired, even when it's ugly, even when it's boring, because the man who executes consistently will always crush the man who waits for the perfect moment. Every single day when you wake up, you're sitting in the middle of a battlefield. It's not dramatic. It's the truth. You've got 24 hours staring you in the face, asking one question: what are you going to do with me? And most of you lose the war before the day even begins. You hit snooze, you scroll, you delay, and by the time you decide to start moving, the day's already beating you. That's why you're stuck. That's why you're broke. Not just in money, but in mindset, in energy, in discipline, in vision. Broke in every way that matters, because every day is a test. And the universe doesn't care how you feel about it. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you had a rough night. It doesn't care if your emotions are a mess. The test is still there. And the reward still belongs to the man who shows up, ready to dominate. That's what separates the elite from the ordinary. The elite treat every morning like game time, like war, like another chance to win. You've been brainwashed into thinking days are just passing moments, like there's always more time, but there's not. Every day you waste is a day you never get back. A day where someone else took the lead because they weren't sleeping on their purpose. They were up early, locked in, learning, lifting, building, executing. While you were justifying your laziness, they were out earning your future. And you wonder why you feel behind. You are behind. You have to look at your day like a scoreboard. Did you win or did you lose? That's simple. Did you improve your mind, your body, your position, or did you coast? Did you make calls, make moves, build discipline? Or did you distract yourself into comfort? The test isn't graded tomorrow. It's graded now. You either passed or you failed today. And if you fail enough days in a row, your life reflects that failure. Your bank account does. Your health does. Your confidence does. Everything. That's why I tell you, stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for a spark. Treat every single day like it's a mission, a task, an obligation. Because the truth is, no one is coming to save you. No one is handing you a dream life. That dream life has to be earned. Earned through daily victory. earned through consistent wins, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. That's where the real test lives, in the moments where quitting feels easier, and you don't quit. And don't fool yourself thinking you can make up for it later. You can't. Life doesn't work that way. There's no rollover minutes. If you waste today, it's gone, done, buried. And when you've stacked enough wasted days, guess what? You've built a wasted life. And you'll sit there wondering where the years went. I'll tell you where they went. They went into excuses, into laziness, into weakness. You failed the daily test, and now the world is giving you your grade. And it's not just about working hard, it's about working right. Every day you should be attacking a target, not just being busy. Busy is a trap. It's motion without progress. You have to be strategic. You have to plan your kill. You wake up and ask, what am I doing today that puts me further ahead than I was yesterday? And if the answer is nothing, then you've already failed the test. But here's the beauty. Tomorrow gives you another shot, another test, another chance to prove you're not average. But that shot only matters if you take it seriously, if you prepare for it, if you walk into it like a man who refuses to lose. Because once you start stacking wins, your life changes. You build momentum, you build confidence, you build power, and power makes everything easier. Money, health, women, respect, it all follows power. And power comes from daily wins, from showing up, even when no one's watching, from grinding when it's inconvenient, from crushing the test before the day crushes you. You want to be broke forever. Keep failing the daily test. Keep wasting mornings. Keep choosing comfort. But if you're done being a nobody, done being average, done being broke, then you treat every day like it's everything, because it is.